You could walk into a room with more intelligence, more skill, and more potential than everyone else, and still be ignored. Why? Because people don't see your abilities first. They see you. Before you speak, people have already decided who you are. Before they hear your ideas, they have already formed an opinion about your confidence, your discipline, your status, and even your value. And the shocking part is that this happens in less than a second. Most people spend years trying to improve what they know. They read books, they learn new skills, they work harder than everyone around them, but they completely ignore the first thing the world notices: their appearance. Psychologists have discovered that the human brain forms social judgments almost instantly. Long before a conversation begins, people are already making assumptions about who they are looking at. They judge confidence, they judge competence, they judge trustworthiness, they judge whether someone deserves attention. These judgments are not always accurate, but they influence opportunities every single day. They affect who gets noticed, who gets respected, who gets trusted, and who gets overlooked. This is why smart people understand something that most people never do. Appearance is not vanity. Appearance is strategy. It is one of the fastest forms of communication in the world. The way you dress, stand, move, and present yourself sends signals before you ever open your mouth. And centuries before modern psychology existed, Machiavelli understood this reality. He understood that people often respond to appearances before they discover the truth. He understood that perception shapes influence, and influence shapes opportunity. That doesn't mean appearance is more important than character. Skills, knowledge, and character will always be the foundation. But if nobody notices those qualities, they may never give you the chance to prove them. Appearance becomes the amplifier. It helps people recognize your value faster. And in a world where first impressions happen instantly, that advantage matters. In this video, you'll learn why first impressions are so powerful, how appearance influences the way people treat you, and how to use your image as a tool for confidence, influence, and success. Because the battle for respect doesn't begin when you speak. It begins the moment people see you. Before we move forward, I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. I control my image. Let's go. Number 1. Understand the first impression rule. Imagine walking into a room where nobody knows your name, nobody knows your background, nobody knows your achievements, nobody knows how intelligent you are, yet within moments people already have an opinion about you. That opinion may be completely wrong, but it still affects the way they respond to you. People judge before they listen. Most people believe respect begins after a conversation starts. They think others will carefully examine their character, abilities, and intentions before forming an opinion. That sounds nice, but real life works differently. Human beings are wired to make quick decisions. Thousands of years ago, our ancestors had to determine very quickly whether a stranger was a threat, an ally, or someone worth paying attention to. The modern world has changed, but the human brain still operates in a similar way. When someone sees you for the first time, their mind immediately starts collecting clues. They notice whether you look confident or uncertain. They notice whether you seem organized or careless. They notice whether you appear calm or nervous. They notice whether you carry yourself with certainty or hesitation. This process happens so quickly that most people never realize they are doing it. Psychologists often refer to this as thin slicing. A thin slice is a very small amount of information that people use to make a larger judgment. In only a few seconds, someone can observe your appearance, posture, facial expression, and behavior, then create a story about who you are. Again, That story may not be true, but it becomes the starting point for everything that follows. Think about meeting two strangers. The first person walks in standing tall. Their movements are controlled. They look comfortable in their own skin. They seem prepared and focused. The second person enters with slumped shoulders. They avoid eye contact. Their movements appear uncertain. They look distracted. Both individuals may possess the same level of intelligence. Both may have the same skills. Both may have the same character. Yet people will often respond differently to them from the very beginning. Why? Because visual signals create expectations, and expectations influence behavior. Once a first impression is formed, people begin looking for evidence that supports what they already believe. If someone sees confidence, they may interpret your actions more positively. If someone sees uncertainty, they may become more critical of the exact same behavior. This is why first impressions are difficult to reverse. Many people spend months trying to correct an opinion that was created in seconds. A strong first impression creates momentum. A weak one creates resistance. Machiavelli understood that perception often arrives before reality. People do not immediately see your true character. They first see the image standing in front of them. That image becomes the doorway through which everything else is judged. This does not mean you should become fake. It does not mean you should pretend to be someone you are not. The goal is not deception. The goal is alignment. Your outward presence should support the qualities you already possess inside. If you are disciplined, let your appearance reflect discipline. If you are confident, let your posture reflect confidence. If you are serious about your goals, let your presentation reflect seriousness. Too many people create unnecessary obstacles because their external image sends the wrong message. Then they wonder why they are overlooked. The truth is simple. People cannot read your mind. They cannot see your potential. They cannot instantly recognize your work ethic. They only see the signals you give them, and those signals shape the first chapter of your story. Every introduction begins with a glance. Every judgment begins with an observation. And the people who understand this principle gain an advantage before the conversation even starts. Drop this affirmation in the comments. Respect starts early. Number 2. Make your appearance work for you. One of the biggest mistakes people make is believing that appearance is only about beauty. It is not. In fact, some of the most respected people in history were not known for perfect looks. What made them stand out was something far more powerful. They looked prepared. They looked disciplined. They looked like people who took themselves seriously. And that is what appearance should do for you. Your appearance is not a beauty contest. It is a signal. Every day, people are looking for clues about who they can trust, who seems capable, and who appears reliable. Since they cannot instantly know your character, they rely on visible details to help them make decisions. This is where appearance starts working either for you or against you. Think about two employees arriving for an important meeting. One arrives looking organized. Their clothing fits properly. Their grooming is clean. They look awake, prepared, and ready to handle responsibility. The other arrives looking careless. Their clothes look neglected. Their presentation feels rushed. They appear as though they put very little effort into being there. Before either person says a word, observers have already started forming conclusions. Not because appearance guarantees competence, but because appearance often signals habits. People naturally connect external order with internal discipline. They assume that someone who manages small details may also manage larger responsibilities. Whether that assumption is always correct is not the point. The point is that it happens. And smart people understand how to use that reality. Many opportunities are influenced by perception. A manager deciding who seems ready for more responsibility. A client deciding who appears professional. A business partner deciding who feels trustworthy. A stranger deciding whether to pay attention to what you say. In each situation, appearance acts as a silent introduction. It speaks before you do. This is why self-respect becomes visible. When you take care of yourself, people notice. When you pay attention to grooming, people notice. When your clothing fits well and looks intentional, people notice. When you carry yourself with pride, people notice. You are sending a message without speaking. The message is simple. I value myself, and people often treat you according to the value you communicate. Now, this does not mean spending huge amounts of money. Many people confuse style with cost. The two are not the same. Expensive clothing cannot replace discipline. A luxury outfit cannot replace good grooming. A high-priced watch cannot replace confidence. Someone wearing simple clothing that is clean, neat, and appropriate often creates a stronger impression than someone trying to impress others with expensive items. The goal is not to look wealthy. The goal is to look intentional. Everything should appear deliberate. Your clothing should fit properly. Your shoes should be clean. Your hair should look maintained. Your overall presentation should communicate effort. These small choices create a larger picture, and people react to that picture. There is another reason appearance matters. It changes how you feel about yourself. When you know you look your best, your behavior often changes. You walk differently. You carry yourself differently. You interact differently. You become more comfortable taking up space. You become more willing to engage with others. You stop worrying about how you are being perceived and focus on the situation in front of you. That internal shift is powerful because confidence is easier to display when you feel prepared, and preparation creates confidence. This is why appearance is not only for other people, it is also for you. It helps reinforce standards. It reminds you that details matter. It encourages consistency, and consistency eventually becomes part of your identity. The people who make strong impressions rarely leave their image to chance. They understand that every visible detail contributes to the message they send, not because they are obsessed with approval, not because they want attention, but because they understand that opportunities often begin before conversations do. When your appearance reflects competence, discipline, and self-respect, it becomes an asset. Instead of creating obstacles, it opens doors. Instead of creating doubt, it creates confidence. Instead of distracting from your strengths, it helps others notice them faster. That is when your appearance begins working for you rather than against you. I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. I look prepared. Number 3. Learn from Beau Brummell. History is full of people who gained power through money, titles, family connections, or military victories. Beau Brummell had none of those advantages. He was not born into great wealth. He was not a king, yet somehow he became one of the most influential social figures in England. How? He understood something that most people ignored. Presentation matters. Beau Brummell lived during the late 18th and early 19th centuries. At that time, many wealthy men tried to display status through flashy clothing, bright colors, expensive decorations, and excessive fashion. Brummell took a completely different approach. Instead of dressing louder, he dressed better. Instead of chasing attention, he focused on precision. Instead of wearing clothing to impress people with wealth, he used clothing to communicate refinement, discipline, and control. Everything about his appearance was intentional. Every detail had a purpose. His clothes were simple compared to many others of his time, but they fit perfectly. They were clean, They were carefully maintained. Nothing looked accidental, and people noticed. Very quickly, Brummell became admired by powerful individuals, including members of the highest social circles in England. People copied his style. People followed his standards. People paid attention to his opinions. Think about that for a moment. A man without extraordinary power managed to influence some of the most powerful people in the country. Not because he spoke the loudest, not because he demanded attention, but because he understood how details shape perception. Most people underestimate the impact of small things. They focus only on major achievements. They believe success comes from dramatic actions, but often the small details create the biggest difference. A poorly maintained appearance can suggest carelessness. A neglected detail can create distraction. An unfinished presentation can weaken an otherwise strong impression. Brummell understood this principle better than almost anyone. He believed that excellence was built through careful attention to seemingly minor things. A wrinkle that should not be there. A poor fit that could be improved. A detail that others overlooked. These things mattered to him, not because he was obsessed with fashion, because he understood what those details communicated. They communicated standards, and standards communicate character. People often assume that discipline appears only in major accomplishments. The truth is different. Discipline often reveals itself through everyday habits. The way someone maintains their appearance, the way they organize their environment, the way they handle routine responsibilities. These small actions tell a larger story. When others see consistency in visible areas, they begin to assume consistency exists elsewhere as well. This is one reason Brummell became so influential. His appearance suggested control. His presentation suggested reliability. His attention to detail suggested a person who operated with high standards, and people naturally respected those qualities. There is an important lesson here for modern life. You do not need expensive clothing. You do not need luxury brands. You do not need to follow every trend. What matters is attention. Pay attention to fit. Pay attention to grooming. Pay attention to cleanliness. Pay attention to the details that most people ignore, because those details separate average from exceptional. Imagine two individuals wearing similar outfits. One looks polished. Everything appears intentional. The other looks rushed. The difference is not money. The difference is care, and people notice care. Whether they realize it consciously or not, they notice it. This lesson extends beyond appearance. It applies to every area of life. The people who achieve excellence are rarely careless with details. They understand that small improvements accumulate over time. One adjustment may seem insignificant, another adjustment may seem minor, but together those improvements create a completely different result. That is exactly what Beau Brummell demonstrated. He transformed himself not through one dramatic change, but through a collection of small decisions repeated consistently. Those decisions shaped perception. That perception shaped influence. And that influence changed his position in society. His story reminds us that visible details are never as small as they seem. Because every detail sends a message. Every detail contributes to an impression. And every impression contributes to opportunity. Number 4, use the halo effect to your advantage. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to receive trust almost immediately? People listen to them more carefully. They receive more patience when they make mistakes. Their ideas are taken more seriously. Others often assume they know what they're doing before they have even proven it. At first glance, this may seem unfair, but there is a psychological reason behind it. It is called the halo effect. The halo effect happens when one positive quality influences how people judge everything else about a person. In simple terms, when someone creates a strong visual impression, people often assume additional positive qualities exist as well. They may assume that person is intelligent. They may assume that person is capable. They may assume that person is reliable. They may assume that person is trustworthy. None of those conclusions have been proven yet. Yet the assumptions appear anyway. This is how powerful first perceptions can be. Imagine meeting two people for the first time. One appears well-groomed, composed, and put together. The other appears disorganized and careless. Even if both individuals possess the same knowledge and ability, many observers will instinctively expect more from the first person. Their brain creates a shortcut. Instead of evaluating every detail separately, it allows one positive signal to influence multiple judgments. That shortcut is the halo effect. This phenomenon shows up everywhere, in business, in leadership, in education, in daily interactions. Studies have repeatedly shown that individuals who present themselves well are often viewed more favorably in situations that have nothing to do with appearance. People may rate them as more competent, more persuasive, more responsible, more effective. Again, this does not mean appearance magically creates these qualities. It simply changes expectations, and expectations influence behavior. Think about a presentation. When someone walks onto a stage looking confident and prepared, the audience often begins listening with a positive mindset. They expect value, they expect competence, they expect a strong performance. That expectation alone changes the way people receive information. The exact same words delivered by someone who appears unprepared may receive a very different reaction, not because the content changed, because perception changed. This is why appearance can become an amplifier. It helps people notice your strengths faster. When positive visual signals are present, others become more open to your message. They become more willing to give you the benefit of the doubt. They become more likely to pay attention. Machiavelli understood this principle long before psychology gave it a formal name. He recognized that people often respond to appearances before they investigate reality. That is why wise individuals never ignore presentation. They understand that perception shapes opportunity. Now, there is something important to remember. The halo effect is powerful, but it is not permanent. A strong appearance may open a door. Only competence keeps that door open. If someone creates an excellent first impression but fails to deliver results, the illusion quickly disappears. Substance still matters. Character still matters. Ability still matters. Appearance simply helps those qualities get noticed. Think of it like packaging around a valuable product. The packaging attracts attention. The value inside creates loyalty. Both matter. One creates interest. The other creates lasting respect. This is where many people make a mistake. They focus entirely on developing skills while ignoring presentation. Or they focus entirely on presentation while neglecting ability. Both approaches create problems. The most effective people combine the two. They build genuine competence. Then they present themselves in a way that allows others to recognize it. That combination creates a powerful advantage, because when appearance and ability work together, they reinforce each other. People notice you faster. They listen more carefully. They remember you longer, and your message carries greater weight. The goal is not manipulation. The goal is communication. You want your outward image to support your real strengths. You want your presentation to reflect the discipline, effort, and standards you have already developed. When that happens, the halo effect begins working in your favor. Instead of creating barriers, it creates momentum. Instead of forcing people to search for your value, it helps them recognize it sooner. And in a world where attention is limited, that advantage can make a significant difference. Drop this affirmation in the comments. My presence matters. Number 5. Avoid the horn effect. Most people understand the value of making a good impression. What they often fail to understand is the cost of making a bad one. Just as positive signals can create advantages, negative signals can create obstacles. This is where the horn effect comes into play. The horn effect is the opposite of the halo effect. Instead of one positive quality improving how people see you, one negative quality causes people to judge everything else more harshly. A single weakness becomes a lens, and through that lens, people begin evaluating the rest of your behavior. Think about how quickly this happens. Someone notices poor grooming. Someone sees clothing that looks neglected. Someone observes habits that suggest a lack of care. Immediately, questions begin forming in their mind. If this person ignores obvious details, what other things might they ignore? If they do not manage themselves well, can they manage important responsibilities? If they appear careless here, where else might that carelessness appear? Whether those assumptions are fair is not the issue. The issue is that they happen. Human beings naturally look for patterns. When they see one negative signal, they often start expecting additional negative qualities to follow. This expectation changes the way they interpret your actions. A small mistake becomes a bigger mistake. A simple oversight becomes evidence of a larger problem. A minor flaw receives more attention than it deserves. This is the hidden cost of a weak presentation. It creates doubt before you even begin. Imagine entering an important meeting. One person arrives looking prepared, organized, and professional. Another arrives looking as though they rushed out the door without paying attention to details. Now imagine both people make the exact same comment. Will the room react to them in the same way? Often, the answer is no. The first person may receive patience and consideration. The second person may receive skepticism, not because the idea was different, because perception was different. The horn effect changes how people receive information. Once negative expectations are established, individuals begin searching for evidence that confirms those expectations. This creates an uphill battle. You are no longer simply communicating your message. You are also fighting against an impression that already exists. And that battle requires extra effort. Many capable people unknowingly create this problem for themselves. They work hard. They develop valuable skills. They possess strong character. Yet they neglect visible details that shape first impressions. As a result, they make life harder than it needs to be. Their abilities remain hidden behind unnecessary distractions. The good news is that many of these mistakes are easy to fix. Poor grooming, wrinkled clothing, unclean shoes, ignoring personal maintenance, looking exhausted when simple improvements are possible. These may seem like small issues, but small issues often create large consequences. Remember the lesson from Beau Brummell: details communicate standards. When details are neglected, people notice. When standards appear low, confidence in other areas can decrease as well. This does not mean chasing perfection. Perfection is impossible. Nobody looks flawless every day. The goal is awareness. The goal is reducing obvious signals that create unnecessary doubt. Think of appearance as removing obstacles rather than seeking praise. You are not trying to impress everyone. You are trying to eliminate reasons for people to underestimate you. That is a very different objective. One seeks approval. The other protects credibility. Machiavelli understood this distinction. He knew that perception influences influence itself. A strong individual with a weak image may struggle to gain respect. A knowledgeable person with a careless presentation may struggle to gain attention. A disciplined individual who appears undisciplined may never receive the opportunities they deserve. This is why managing your image matters. Not because appearance defines who you are, because appearance affects how quickly others recognize who you are. Every negative signal creates friction. Every unnecessary flaw creates resistance. And resistance makes progress harder. The smartest approach is simple. Remove distractions. Maintain standards. Present yourself in a way that supports your strengths instead of hiding them. Because once doubt enters someone's mind, earning trust becomes more difficult. And when credibility is weakened, even strong qualities can be overlooked. Now, I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. I protect credibility. Number 6. Master the nonverbal language of power. Every time you enter a room, you are communicating, not just through words, not through introductions. You are communicating through what people see. This is something many people underestimate. They believe influence comes mainly from speaking well. They spend years improving their vocabulary, learning how to explain ideas, and practicing what they want to say. Those things are important. But before anyone evaluates your words, they are already watching your behavior. They are watching how you stand, how you walk, how you move, how you look at people, how comfortable you appear under attention. And from these observations, they begin making judgments. This is the language of nonverbal communication, and in many situations, it speaks louder than words ever can. Think about the most confident person you have ever met. Chances are you noticed something before they even started talking. Maybe it was the way they entered a room. Maybe it was the way they carried themselves. Maybe it was the calm energy they projected. Whatever it was, their presence communicated something powerful before any conversation began. That is because confidence is often seen before it is heard. One of the strongest signals you can control is posture. Posture tells people how you feel about yourself. Someone who constantly hunches forward, shrinks their body, and avoids taking up space often appears uncertain. Someone who stands upright and balanced usually appears more comfortable and self-assured. The difference is immediate. People notice it without even thinking about it. Posture does not create ability, but it changes how ability is perceived. Another powerful signal is eye contact. Many people either avoid eye contact completely or overdo it. Both create problems. Avoiding eye contact can make you appear uncomfortable, distracted, or insecure. Staring too intensely can make others uncomfortable. Strong eye contact is simple. You look at people naturally when speaking and listening. You show engagement. You show attention. You show that you are fully present. This creates trust, because people tend to trust individuals who appear comfortable facing them directly. Movement also matters. Watch nervous people carefully. Their movements often seem rushed. They fidget constantly. They make sudden gestures. They appear restless. Now compare that with someone who looks composed. Their movements are controlled. They do not rush unnecessarily. They seem relaxed even when attention is focused on them. This calmness creates authority, because control over movement often suggests control over emotions. Then there is clothing fit. Many people focus entirely on clothing itself while ignoring fit. Yet fit is often more important. An expensive outfit that fits poorly can weaken your appearance. A simple outfit that fits correctly can strengthen it. Good fit communicates care. It shows attention to detail. It shows that you understand how to present yourself effectively. Grooming sends similar messages. People notice whether you maintain yourself. They notice whether you appear clean and organized. They notice whether you look like someone who values standards. These observations happen automatically. No announcement is necessary. Your appearance communicates the message on its own. What makes non-verbal communication so powerful is that people often trust it more than words. Someone can claim confidence while displaying obvious nervousness. Someone can claim discipline while appearing disorganized. Someone can claim leadership while looking uncomfortable under pressure. When words and behavior conflict, people usually believe what they see. That is why consistency matters. Your actions, appearance, and presence should support your message. The strongest communicators understand this. They do not rely only on speech. They understand that every visible signal contributes to the impression they create. And here is something important. Powerful presence is not about acting superior. It is not about arrogance. It is not about trying to dominate every room. True presence comes from self-control. It comes from being comfortable with yourself. It comes from moving through the world with purpose rather than hesitation. People naturally respond to that energy because confidence feels stable. Confidence feels reliable. Confidence feels trustworthy. And all of those qualities can be communicated long before a conversation begins. Mastering nonverbal communication means becoming aware of the signals you send every day. It means making sure your posture, eye contact, movement, clothing fit and grooming are working together. When they do, your presence begins speaking for you, and often it says more than words ever could. Number 7. Adopt the obsession standard. Most people want to look good when something important is about to happen, a job interview, a special event, a first introduction. During those moments, they suddenly pay attention to details. They choose better clothes. They spend more time grooming. They stand straighter. They become aware of how they are being perceived. Then the event ends, and they return to old habits. This is the difference between occasional effort and a personal standard. The people who create strong impressions year after year do not rely on special occasions. They build systems. They create routines. They establish expectations for themselves. And then they follow those expectations consistently. This is what separates being presentable from being exceptional. A presentable person makes an effort sometimes. An exceptional person makes an effort all the time. Not because they are trying to impress others, because excellence has become part of their identity. Look closely at highly successful individuals in any field. You will often notice something interesting. They pay attention to details that most people ignore, not only in appearance, in preparation, in habits, in organization, in execution, in standards. They understand that success is rarely created by one massive action. It is usually built through small behaviors repeated over long periods of time. Appearance works the same way. One good outfit will not change your life. One great haircut will not transform your future. One strong first impression will not guarantee lasting respect. What matters is consistency. What matters is showing up at a high level again and again. This is why you need an appearance standard, a personal set of rules that you follow whether anyone is watching or not. Think about grooming. Do you leave it to chance, or do you maintain it regularly? Think about posture. Do you only stand confidently when you remember, or have you trained yourself to carry your body properly throughout the day? Think about clothing. Do you choose whatever is available? Or do you make deliberate decisions about how you present yourself? These questions matter because habits create reputation, and reputation is built over time. Every day people are collecting information about you, not through one dramatic moment. Through repeated observations, they notice patterns, they notice consistency, they notice standards. That is why the obsession standard is so powerful. It removes randomness. You stop relying on motivation. You stop waiting until something important happens. You stop making excuses. Instead, you create a baseline, a minimum standard that you refuse to fall below. Maybe it means keeping your clothing clean and fitted. Maybe it means maintaining good grooming every week. Maybe it means checking your posture throughout the day. The specific actions matter less than the consistency behind them, because consistency changes how people see you. More importantly, it changes how you see yourself. Every time you meet your own standards, you strengthen self-respect. You reinforce discipline. You prove to yourself that details matter. And over time, that mindset begins spreading into other areas of life. Someone who maintains standards in one area often develops standards in other areas as well. They become more organized, more reliable, more intentional, more disciplined. The habit starts small, but eventually influences much more than appearance. Machiavelli understood that powerful individuals rarely leave important things to chance. They create systems, they create structure, they create routines that support their goals. Appearance should be treated the same way. Do not wait until the world demands excellence from you. Demand it from yourself first. Do not prepare only for important moments. Live in a way that prepares you every day. Because opportunities are often unpredictable. The person who receives the opportunity is usually not the person who starts preparing that morning. It is the person who was already prepared. And that is the true meaning of becoming obsessed with your appearance. Not vanity, not attention, not admiration, standards. A commitment to showing up as your best version consistently, day after day, week after week, year after year. Because excellence is never created in a single moment. It is created through a standard that refuses to disappear. Drop this affirmation in the comments. Excellence is my standard. Appearance alone is not power. A sharp outfit cannot replace competence. Good grooming cannot replace knowledge. A strong presence cannot replace character. At the end of the day, skills, discipline, and results will always matter more than appearance. But here is what many people fail to understand. Appearance is often the amplifier. It is the signal that helps other people recognize your value faster. Think about everything we discussed today. People form judgments before conversations begin. Small details shape how others see you. Positive visual signals can strengthen credibility. Negative signals can create unnecessary obstacles. Your posture, grooming, clothing, and presence communicate messages long before you speak. And the people who consistently make strong impressions do not leave these things to chance. They create standards, they create habits, they understand that perception affects opportunity. Machiavelli understood a simple truth that remains relevant today. The world does not always see who you truly are immediately. The world sees what you present first. That is why appearance should never be ignored. Not because you are seeking attention, not because you want admiration, but because every room forms a verdict before you have the chance to explain yourself. Your goal is not to become someone else. Your goal is to make sure your outer image reflects your inner standards. When appearance and substance work together, they become a powerful combination. People notice you faster. They listen more carefully. They remember you longer. And they become more willing to take you seriously. If you found value in this video, take a second to hit the like button. It helps this video reach more people who need these lessons. Share this video with someone who underestimates the power of first impressions. And subscribe to the channel for more Machiavellian lessons on power, psychology, strategy, and self-mastery. Now I want to leave you with one final thought. Most people spend their lives hoping to be recognized. A few choose to become impossible to ignore. Build substance, refine the signal, raise your standards, and let the world see the best version of who you already are. Before you leave, drop this final affirmation in the comments. I am impossible to ignore.